You know those people who just seem completely unfazed by the latest viral trend? It's like while everyone else is getting swept up in the same current, they're just calmly charting their own course. So today, we're going to unpack the powerful idea behind this immunity, really. The source material calls it the sovereign mind. Let's dive in.
I mean, you felt this, right? That weird, almost magnetic pull of a viral trend. All of a sudden, it feels like the entire world is in on some inside joke that you just don't get. But the real question here isn't just, why is this a thing? It's more like, why do I feel this pressure to jump on board?
And right here, this is where we see two totally different paths open up. On one hand, you've got the path of least resistance, right? You follow the crowd. It gives you this temporary hit of belonging, but let's be honest, it often leaves you feeling kind of empty later. Then there's the other path. It's definitely harder, but that's where you find that solid, unshakable feeling of being true to yourself. It's the huge difference between just fitting in and actually truly belonging.
All right, so if forging your own path is so great, why is it so ridiculously hard sometimes? Well, it's because we're not just making these choices in a bubble. We are up against this incredibly powerful force that's constantly designed to pull us right back into the crowd. We're talking about the viral trend machine.
Okay, so the article that actually sparked this whole explainer listed out 6 pretty powerful traits of people who just don't follow trends. But what was so interesting is that as we looked closer, we realized they all kind of boil down to, they all orbit around one single powerful core concept. And that's the real secret we're going to unlock today. And that concept? It's what the source calls the sovereign mind. And really, it's so much more than just a mindset. Think of it like a kind of mental independence. It's what lets you navigate all the noise of the modern world completely on your own terms.
So, what does it actually mean to have a sovereign mind? Well, for starters, it means your sense of self worth isn't up for a popular vote. It's not about ignoring what other people think, not at all. It's about not being dependent on it. Your own values, they become the final say, your personal true north for every decision you make.
And this right here, this is the fundamental choice we're all making. Every single day, we're at this crossroads. Do I act based on what I truly believe, my own convictions? Or do I just bend to the pressure of the crowd? A person with a sovereign mind consistently and very consciously chooses their own values. Okay, so if you're not getting your directions from everyone else, how do you navigate? What are you using? The answer is something we can think of as your inner compass. And look, this inner compass, it isn't some fuzzy, abstract idea. It's a real practical tool, and it's built from your core values. You can almost think of it like your personal operating system for life, you know? It's running in the background, guiding you through every single choice, from the huge, life-changing ones to the small, everyday stuff. When you really look at it, the difference between these two ways of living is just huge. Chasing a trend, that gives you a temporary high, right? A quick feeling of fitting in. But living by your own values, that's where you find something that actually lasts, that deep, solid feeling of being authentically you. So what's the fuel that makes this inner compass work? What powers it? It comes down to a really powerful psychological trait, having a low need for external validation. Honestly, this is the real superpower. This is the game changer. It's not about being aloof or not caring what people think. It's about being so firmly anchored in your own values that you can listen to all the noise out there without getting swept away by it. You get to be the captain of your own ship, not just a piece of cork getting tossed around on the waves of what's popular this week. So what does this actually look like day to day? Well, imagine your decision-making process is like this chart. For someone with a sovereign mind, look at that. The huge majority of their choices come from their internal values. Opinions from the outside, they're a slice, sure, but they're not the whole pie. You listen, you consider it, but at the end of the day, you're the one setting the course. All right, this all sounds great in theory, but how do we actually move from just understanding this to living it? How do we start building a life that's really defined by our own choices and not just the latest thing everyone's talking about? Let's get practical. Okay, it really all starts with just being aware. Step 1 is to just notice that pull of the crowd. When you feel that pressure to conform, that's your cue. Just pause. That moment is everything. Instead of just reacting, you turn inward. That's step 2. You consult your inner compass. You ask yourself, wait, what do I actually believe here? And then step 3,
you act with conviction. You make the choice that lines up with your values, not the outside pressure. At the end of the day, developing a sovereign mind isn't about building walls around yourself. It's about being the curator of your own inner world. It's about consciously choosing which voices you let in and which ones you don't. So, as you go about your day-to-day, just ask yourself this one question. What noise will you choose to tune out so you can finally hear your own voice?